first session of the year down on my syndicate, and I've invited ccmoore to come see my approach at spring fishing. It's been a very wet and windy, although mild, winter. It's very muddy, very wet, and I'm absolutely chopping at the bits to get out and start hunting some of these carp. What I'm going to do over the next day or so is talk you through my approach to syndicate spring fishing, a little bit about single hook baits, some of the spots, location, all this sort of stuff that I do this time of year. And yeah, let's get into it. Right, I've just stopped here at this nice little snaggy sanctuary part of the lake, and I've just seen 3 fish ghosting across here. And this is an area that the fish do like in the spring. It's a bit shallower, and like I say, it's basically shut off from the rest of the lake. The only way you can get to it is by the entrance, which I'm going to probably have a little tickle at later. But this time last year, one of my target fish, I watched it in here day after day after day. They really like sunning themselves in here, and definitely this time of year with the shallow water, a lot of the protection from the snags, and just they know they're getting fish for. They come in here, and during the summer sometimes it dries out, but this is definitely an area that I'm going to be targeting today. Obviously they're here and where they're expected to be, and hopefully we can try and sneak one out. Right, as you can see, my tackle is pretty light. This time of year, when you're getting around the pond, it can be difficult as it is. You'll see there's a lot of mud, so getting around the pond is challenging as it is, but we want to get light. Want to be able to move on showers, you know, getting around the pond, trying to find some fish. So light, just literally a couple of rods, bit of bait, and my rucksack, and we're away. It's definitely an edge, especially if you're day fishing or just sort of trying to locate your fish. Staying light is definitely the one, and it's something that I incorporate in all of my angling really, but this time of year even more so. Let's get on. Essentially this is the channel here where I saw them 2 fish earlier, and essentially they were coming down this way, so I could potentially set a little trap, little solid bag or a single or something like that, and then you've got this channel here. You've got this kind of island of all these snags, and this time of year, obviously, the shallow water, they're looking for that protection, but also the snags, it's a bit of a haven, it's nice and warm for them, so you often see them here, and I definitely think that this is going to be the one. It's looking really, really nice. The wind has swung round, it's coming sort of directly this way now, and this channel in particular here is off the wind, and it just looks the one. So this is the rig that I'm going to put out there. This is what I tend to use for single hookbait fishing. But quite an interesting rig. It's quite long. You don't see it too often, but that little stiff boom there, fluorocarbon boom, it's about 12. Sometimes I go up to 14 inches. But essentially, why I'm using that, so the water I'm using here is so clear. It gives you enough just for it to land subtly on anything really. And I like to just rock up on showing fish and chuck it out using a little bit of a lead clip there, little chod hook, stiff hinge. Nice little orange one, and yeah, we'll get it out there and hopefully we can nick one. Oh, it's so solid there it is underneath. I'm just going to take that back a little bit. Goes down with such a crunch, man. Such a crunch. I'm just sinking my line. Sort of line concealment, the type of line is really important to me. I tend to use like pure fluorocarbon. On the deck, fishing nice and slack. I think especially these old warriors, they're so wise, and they know, they see the line, and I think it's something that's overlooked a lot. So what I'm doing now is just sinking the line, getting it as slack as I possibly can, getting it right down to the deck. This stuff sinks like a brick. It's 18-pound fluorocarbon, so making sure it gets right down there. So the reason I'm corking this is that it's actually a 12mm pop-up, and obviously quite a small hook bait for using on a stiff inch or a chod, but you know, ccmoore pop-ups are so buoyant, but it's really important that you've got the buoyancy, and just drilling it and corking it, make sure it keeps that buoyancy 24-48 hours, size 6 hook, and yeah, it just does the trick, so you know you're confident when you got it out. It's a winner. Yep, just stretching out this fluorocarbon. It's nice and straight. It just kicks away lovely. Right, this next rod, I'm just going to flick it down here on this nice little channel, and then I've got both channels covered. This is where I think, well, this is where I saw the fish earlier, and I think they're going to be just coming around here on this island here. So I'm just going to flick one down right in front of their nose, and hopefully I can stop one in the tracks. It's just a little underarm cast here, just down here. No, she ain't level, is she? If you have them level, you catch more, you see. they know, especially in the spring. Obviously at the moment I'm using 2 singles, but in the spring there's a few other tactics that shouldn't be ignored. I suppose my 2 favourites are the solid bags and the zigs, but talking about the solid bags, I think it's just a quick presentation that you can rock up on fish. In spring, for me, it's all about finding them and, you know, least disturbance and just getting something out, getting something on top of them and trying to nick a bite. So a solid bag is definitely an approach I like to use in the spring, and as well, zigs should not be ignored. Now it's important this time of year to try and get a vantage point where you can see them. Obviously I'm fishing literally just down there, and luckily this tree, it's a bit flimsy, but I've managed to get some elevation, and I'll be able to see him ghosting around that corner where I dropped that single in. At the minute it's looking quiet. I've obviously done a bit of disturbance, but hopefully they'll drift around and I'm in a prime position to see. Now hopefully I can see one stop, head down, tail up, and it will rattle away, but at the minute it is looking a bit quiet, but we'll see what happens. Right, so we've done a couple of hours in here, and unfortunately I've been up the tree and I haven't seen them fish. I think they've done the off. Probably mixture of weather conditions and probably me spooking the area. Sometimes you've got to be quickly in and out as stealthy as possible, but they've definitely drifted off, and I've given it enough time. I think the opportunity's passed and it's time to reel in, move on and see what else we can find. You know, there's some other shallow areas and a shelf and other bits and bobs to investigate. So if it's not going to be a few bags, I might get some zigs out a bit later. And yeah, sometimes you've got to force your hand and get on the move and see if you can find them. But for now, I'm going to reel these in and get on the move. So I like to stop in this swim. It gives you a really nice vantage point of the whole lake. Essentially you can see right down the middle and all of the main bowl area. But what's caught my attention is over here to the left, just on the edge of the shelf, is all the bird life are really localised to this area. So they're there for a reason and they're diving on something. I think they might be diving on a hatch. So to me that's like, ooh, you know, if the birds are there, the carp are going to be there, and that screams zigs all day. But you know, taking your time to find areas where you can view a lot of the lake, especially early on where signs of carp are pretty slim, it's definitely a good one, and this is a prime area. The wind definitely affects the fishing at this time of year, I think more so than ever, and it can be really surprising. You've got to keep your eye on the winds. I've had some sessions in the past, really early March, late February, in the coldest northeasterly wind that you would never expect them to be in, and for whatever reason they've just shown up there on a new fresh northeasterly. And also when the sun's shining off the back of the winds, when you get over, like it is now, overcast southwesterly winds, you know, they're going to move on those winds. That, you know, it's going to be pushing the warmer water layers across, and they will get in it. I think it plays a massive part, so definitely keep your eye out on the winds. Off the back of the wind, in the wind, there is no right or wrong answer, but definitely keep an eye on it, because they show up in them cold winds when you least expect it. Well, welcome to the swamp swim. I've ended up in here, well, a few reasons. I actually saw a couple of fish out there this morning showing out in the main bowl, and another result is another one of the members actually had one this morning and his guest. So I've jumped in behind him, had a little bit of a chat, and luckily enough he gave me a bit of information, and yeah, so I've jumped in right behind. So I'm not going to look a gift horse in the mouth, jump in straight behind. Hopefully there's some more bites to be had. It's very muddy and swampy in here, but if the fish are here, you've got to get in here. I'm just getting the rods ready. I'm going to wait till a bit later, hopefully see some shows and whack some singles on their head. That's the plan, and yeah, let's get to it. With single hookbait fishing, different colours and hookbait colours, it's definitely a hot topic. Now what I've got here are the tones, and I love these because you're getting two colours in one pot. Obviously you're on a session, you don't want to carry too many hookbaits, but the beauty of these is you get two colours in each pot essentially, so it's just giving you more options. Obviously in the spring you get different light levels, you get the cloud coming in, you get the bright sunshine, so you've got different hookbait options to kind of match, you know, the environment. I think that's a really good edge, especially in the spring. Now something I like to do is boost my hookbaits. I've been doing it for a very long time, and recently I've been taking it to a whole nother level when using the halo and some powders. I've been using the ultra sweet and the fructus to really take in the hookbaits to another level. I think this is the next generation of sort of hookbait fishing. It's, you know, adding attractions from all different layers, different colours, different smells, and yeah, hookbaits on another level. Sorry if that was too sales pitchy, but I like it. I do believe that though. Yeah. I genuinely do believe that. Yeah. It's like the next generation, next gen hookbaits. Well, there's a bit about how I approach my early spring tactics, you know, getting out there, hunting them down. I hope you take something from this video, but for now I'm going to kick back, probably order a curry, get the kettle on, and hopefully one of them big girls will turn up in the morning. Tight lines.